Good day, ladies and gentlemen. For today's topics, we have initial markup, additional markup, markup cancellation, and the difference between markup and margin, and lastly, markdown. So shall we start? Let's go. So let's start first with the initial markup, or mark on in other words. Refers to the amount added to cost to arrive at the original selling price. It is sometimes referred to as margin. In other words, it is the difference between the original selling price and the cost. Let's say for example guys, me, who marked the merchandise that I bought for 100 reals to sell it at a price of 120 reals. The 120 reals is the original selling price, and the 20 reals is the initial mark on or markup. And now for additional markup. This refers to the amount added to the original selling price to arrive at a new selling price. So let's say for example I'm a seller and I want to increase the selling price of my product. From 120 reals I will add 30 reals, which will be the additional markup. And now my new selling price is at 150 reals. And now for markup cancellation. This refers to the decrease in the new selling price that does not decrease it below the original selling price. So let's say for example again that I am the seller and my customers are not satisfied with the price that I set, which is 150 reals. So I am going to decrease it by 10 reals, which will be now at 140 reals. And if my customers are still not satisfied with the 140 reals, I am going to still decrease it by 20 reals, which will go back to the original selling price. I have the decision as the seller or trader to lower the price as long as the new lowered price does not go below the original selling price, which is 120 reals. So now that the price is back to its original selling price, the additional markup is cancelled. And now for markdown. This refers to the reduction in the original selling price. Let's say me, the seller, decided to go below my original selling price at 120 reals to go lower and decrease it by 5 reals. So now the new reduced selling price is at 115 reals. So let's say again I decided to go lower and decrease it again by 5 reals. So now the new reduced selling price will be at 110 reals. So again you might be asking, why is it called markdown? It's because I went lower than the original selling price, which is 120 reals. And now for the difference between markup and margin. So let's start first with margin. Margin is also known as the gross margin, which is the sales minus the cost of goods sold. And for markup is the amount by which the cost of a selling product is increased in order to derive the selling price. Here is a very great example of both of them. So for example, let's say I got a profit of 200 reals. And the cost of the product that I sold is 140 reals. So the gross margin is 60 reals. So you might be asking, how did we get the 70%, 30%, and 100%? To get the 70%, you have to divide 140 reals by 200 reals. And to get 30%, you have to divide 60 reals by 200 reals. And for 200 reals, it's 100% because it is the total sales. So now for the markup based on cost, a markup of 60 reals to the 140 reals cost yields the 200 reals selling price. So 100% for the 140 reals. And how did we get 42.86%? You just have to divide 60 reals by 140 reals, which will give us 42.86%. And we have to add the 100% by 42.86% to get the total of 142.86%. Therefore, the margin is addressing the profit as it relates to the selling price, whereas the markup is addressing the profit as it relates to the cost price. I hope you liked the video and found it interesting. Please leave a subscribe button and thank you for watching.